What is up, everyone, and welcome to the John Squared Gaming Show, episode 9, where this week I'm not wearing any pants because it's too goddamn hot. I'm one of your hosts, John, and joining me as always is another man named John. How you doing?
If my bladder wasn't the size of a child's and I might have to get up at some point, I also would not be wearing pants.
Like, I'm wearing underwear. Compression shorts, like if women could get away with wearing this. So I think it's kind of fair that I am.
Looks like I'm not. Hold on. I'm wearing khakis. They're short shorts though.
I would show what I'm wearing, but
Don't.
might as well
We'll get
not. But like I said, we just call them biker shorts, like what women wear to the gym, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Also, John,
I mean, they don't have their balls hanging out though. It's a little bit different.
some might. You just don't know,
True.
and they have every right. We as a society need to normalize balls hanging out
Amen.
because this actually kind of leads perfectly into my first non-video game topic that I wanted to discuss with you. Something that's been on my mind a lot lately. Wow.
See, I saw the topic list for the show about Xbox, and I was like, how the fuck does it relate to Xbox?
Yeah, balls, Xbox. No, it's a hard correlation to draw. But no. My mind's fucked up. Your mind is fucked up. So I know you're gonna understand.
Yeah.
And this really is for no particular reason. But over the last couple of days or so, I've been when I'm alone in my thoughts, I just think like, why do humans think we're so special?
Okay.
Like, no, why? When you do shit like that and you make that face, like, yeah, it makes me think that you think the worst of me.
Well, no. So you were talking about your balls, and then you said when I'm alone by myself with my thoughts. I didn't know where you were going.
Oh, okay, all right. I mean, we could go there, but I think that runs the risk of being striked even more than me showing my balls through my compression shorts. But no.
All right. Okay.
What I'm saying is the correlation I was drawing, of course, is like Connor over here. You guys can't. Oh, you can see him actually in the corner.
I can't.
Right here. He walks around with his balls hanging out, and no one bats an eye. But really, what I'm thinking is why humans think we're any different than anything else in nature. Why we think we have to have purpose in life. Like why? Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Is this all like your argument to not like be able to walk around with your dick and balls out? Is that where this is headed?
No, it's my argument for not accomplishing anything in my life and
okay.
being okay with it, because who the fuck cares? Like, what meaning does any of it hold anyways?
I was talking about this today. We were talking about someone I know moving up at their job. And I was like, oh yeah, well, it was this funny coincidence because me and John started our jobs like a week apart. And we're still there. And it's been 7.5 years.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't done much with our time.
I mean,
we've moved up respective ladders, but like we haven't.
Yeah, and really, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people who their sense of purpose lies in their careers and stuff. Which, I mean, great if that makes you happy. Like everything else in nature, they do as they please, as much as they can. But yeah, I had just been thinking about why. I mean, if you're so like religion and stuff like that drives you, that if that's the sort of thing that drives you, cool. Obviously, like what directly differentiates us from other animals is the ability to communicate like effectively with like other humans, I guess, and our brains are bigger, I suppose, than most.
I don't know if they're bigger. I know that we have thumbs though, and a lot of like we have opposable thumbs.
Yeah,
Most
okay.
other mammals don't. I'd say, I'd say monkeys are smarter than us.
Hmm.
You know,
And
if something bothers them, they just fling shit at them. Problem
monkeys,
solved.
as far as I know, don't believe in God. Monkeys don't,
Like,
you
you
know.
never know.
Yeah, right. I guess you don't, and that's why at the end of the day, whatever helps you serve your purpose in life, then go for it. But I just think life is kind of meaningless, you know. And you
That's
just
right.
if you just exist as as any other animal in nature, like you don't have to fulfill anything to be a part of life.
No, dogs just sit around. They lick their nuts. They drag their ass on the ground, and they just want food, and that's it.
Yeah,
Honestly, if we're being completely honest with ourselves, I too just lick my nuts, drag my ass on the ground, and want food. So maybe we aren't that different.
maybe dogs are onto something.
Maybe I fling my shit at people from now on when I have an issue.
And who's to
You know,
tell you otherwise? Uh, so
probably the law.
anyways, into
Welcome to the gaming show.
well, welcome to the news portion of the show. Well, we'll go over the very little bit of news that we had over the last week. Um, some exciting, some that I'm very excited to talk about, some that I don't care that much about, and that goes for the first story. Uh, Xbox announces their Gamescom showcase. It's mostly just so they announced that they're focusing on previously announced games, so it's no new. I mean, we just had E3 a month ago, so it's not
Yeah.
that surprising. But I'm pulling from Joe Screbbles on IGN. It says Xbox announces Gamescom showcase. Xbox has confirmed that it will hold a Gamescom stream at on August 24th, showing off new looks at upcoming games, beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. for UK, but we don't care about you anyways. The showcase sounds as though it will focus on already announced titles. It arrives the day before Gamescom officially opens with opening night live showcase on August 25th. You can tune in to that's you can watch it on IGN, I guess. Um yeah, like the only thing that I drew from this is it just feels more and more like Sony has been like they've just been abandoning us.
Been lazy. Oh, it's a
Um
good teaser. Yeah, Sony either they've got to have something up their sleeve, right? Because if not, then like if they really don't have anything to show after all this time,
right. Right.
that's I don't want to say lazy, but like that's wild.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like laziness or I complacency because they've been on top for
Yeah.
so long. Um, and they're like, well, we don't have to communicate the way Xbox does because Xbox like failed miserably the beginning of the last gen. The first couple years of the Xbox One cycle was horrible. But it just seems like slowly and slowly, like PlayStation's been here, like starting with the PS4 gen, and Xbox like started here, and like PlayStation's still like going because they're still selling games, but Xbox like is slowly getting up there,
Yeah.
and I don't know that's just the vibe that I get because how open Xbox has been in all of this since these consoles came out almost a fucking year ago at this point. Um, and we just got an indie showcase from PlayStation and just talking briefly about Deathloop. The only PlayStation news that we've really had over the last 3 to 4 weeks has been from like insiders saying Horizon's delayed and Sony hasn't said anything about that. So this is cool for people who are want a closer look on games that have already been announced. Also, the only other thing I will say about this is I think there's a strong possibility we get the Halo Infinite release date here.
It'd be nice.
I mean, we're quickly moving through August. They say it's holiday 2021. Like, what are they gonna announce in October and be like, hey, in 2 weeks, Halo Infinite's coming out? Like,
I
they
mean,
you think
that's
they would have to?
if we're talking about like modern like pop culture right now. The next Spider-Man movie comes out in December, and there still hasn't been even a teaser trailer yet, and it's already middle of August.
Do you think there's a chance that if say I can't even say like it's not this is pretty realistic possibility, but it COVID, you know, it comes back around and everyone oh
That
oh no.
I'm I am frozen. I'm frozen in a, that
it's
figures.
it's like a perfect
Yeah.
spot to be frozen. If you just want to
Uh,
leave Discord. Oh no, you're back.
Now we're back. Yeah, I saw a little wheel turning. That's why I didn't back out. Uh,
Um
yeah, my thought was that that's exactly what's happening. They're worried about delays, so they're not saying anything because, especially Sony, who's helping, Spider-Man is their property,
right.
also doing PlayStation stuff. I think internally they're worried about another shutdown or delay, which is as it stands right around the corner. Like we're headed that way pretty
Right.
quickly.
Yeah.
So I think they're nervous to say anything and then have to delay more stuff and then everyone
Right.
gets upset and it's a disaster. I think that's been the thing with Halo 2 is they said holiday so they could really holiday could stretch into like January, the first second week of January if it needs to. Like if they say coming holiday whatever and then they announce the release date and it's like January 14th. I don't think people are going to be that upset as opposed to like hey, we got to delay it again and it's going to be, whatever. If they say we got to delay it, it's going to be early 2022 instead of holiday 21.
Are
There's
we
going to be a
talking
lot
about
more.
Halo or Spider-Man?
I think I just merged the two at this point.
Okay.
Mostly I'm talking about Halo. If they say holiday 21 and then it gets pushed like the first couple weeks of January instead of saying we're pushing it to early 2022. Uh I think it's just the safer bet to say holiday and then, you know.
I I don't think that's it with Halo. The only delay I could see with Halo is if they drop the multiplayer in November and then the campaign comes out in like March next year or something where because that was the biggest from what I've heard. Obviously there's Xbox didn't confirm this, so this is speculation, but from what I understood was the the campaign was what needed to be worked on, the reason that it was delayed. And you see the flight
Okay.
that just came out, there was hiccups here and there, but for the most part it looked good and everyone said it played well. So I think that's almost a lock for I want to say I think it's November. I do think what they are waiting on isn't COVID. I think it's Call of Duty, and we know Battlefield now. We know Battlefield's in October. If Call of Duty is like end of October still, I think Halo is looking at late November, early December, just to get some breathing room, and they're going to be like the focus there. They don't want to come out within a
Yeah.
week or two of Call of Duty.
Looks like I am frozen again. But yeah. I I don't know. I guess that would make sense. I didn't you do more of this research than I do. I didn't read into the fact that it was the campaign holding it up.
And
Um
yeah, like I said, that's not 100% thing. Like I don't know for sure. It's just
yeah.
from what I've heard from insiders. Um, yeah, I am a loser, and I just read about this shit for no fucking reason, just because I think it's more interesting.
I mean, yeah. It I feel like it's probably more interesting than the shit I read all day.
Yeah. So overall W from Microsoft, and another small W. Microsoft brings XCloud to Windows PCs with the Xbox app. Now, this article is from Tom Warren with The Verge. Um, I follow Tom Warren on Twitter. I it's a really good follow. Like I think he's very insightful on a lot of this stuff, and he's the more people you can find on Twitter that aren't like console war weirdos, the better.
Yeah.
So I would follow Tom Warren. Um I enjoy following. So um yeah, so Microsoft is bringing xCloud to Windows PCs through its Xbox app today. Xbox insiders will be able to access a new updated Xbox app with Xbox Cloud Gaming built in. Much like how xCloud works through the web, you'll just need a compatible controller connected via Bluetooth or USB to access Xbox games from Windows 10 PC. This is really cool for people who don't have strong enough PCs to run modern games. I haven't checked this out yet. If I for some reason I didn't see this news. You could always play um the Xbox Cloud Gaming through PC, but you had to do it through a browser. I'm sure
Yeah.
this probably helps with latency and that input lag and stuff like that. Now that it's like baked into the Xbox app. Um, but yeah, this is definitely for people who have PCs who that aren't strong enough to run like modern games or like because XCloud or Xbox Cloud Gaming is the Xbox Series X version of games. So even if you have a PC that can run a game at like 40 frames per second or can barely run it, and you have good internet, you might as well try this out because it could be like, I mean, not that 1080p, I think it is at 60 frames per second and faster loading. Um, Xbox is just giving people more and more ways to play. Um, and yeah, I'm as it stands right now, as someone who primarily gets like excited for PlayStation news, and I'm like super invested in the PlayStation ecosystem. I feel
Yeah.
more excited about what Xbox and Microsoft are bringing to the table as a whole right now than what PlayStation has. Quite honestly,
I think, I mean, I don't want to say same, but it's like it's because PlayStation hasn't brought anything to the table in a minute.
and it's
So I mean, it like Xbox is like they're just moving right along, and PlayStation's not doing anything.
yeah. With the only imminent news it seems from PlayStation is the biggest game that they would have that they would have released this year in Horizon Forbidden West is getting delayed until
Yeah.
next year. Um,
Someone said that I saw a meme that was like that and Breath of the Wild, like they both released the same day or whatever,
2017.
and
I think
then
within
this
like
one there,
4 or 5 weeks of each other in 2017.
yeah, and then like this one is they're both being pushed to the same time frame, Horizon 2 and Breath of the Wild 2 for release.
Yeah, I I need. I'm cool with playing both of these games in the same year, obviously. But I need a couple months in between. I can't have it be like 2 or 3 weeks because I plan on investing. I have like 200 hours or something in Breath of the Wild, and I've played through Horizon Zero Dawn like 2 or 3 times and have probably like 70 to 100 hours. So I need some time in between. I need to to let it marinate if you know what I mean.
I'd prefer Horizon to come out first and
Mhm.
then give a good 3 4 weeks and then like
Well, I'm like three,
three.
4 months.
No, I need 3 weeks and then I want right into Breath of the Wild. The difference between you and I is I have no life. So like these kind of games, I get in and I don't leave. I'm in.
I mean,
I don't. If I have a 3 week break, then I have to what? I have to exercise. I have to think about things. Like what?
no,
Give me.
that's when you go back and you play games that you've never played before.
Can't do it.
Um, dude, when COVID first hit and we like were figuring out like, well, we were figuring out that there was nothing to do, not what to do.
Yeah.
Um, I was ripping through games. I think I think I played like 15 or 16 games, like full fucking
Yeah,
AAA games in like the first couple of months. Um,
I did all that and put like 60 hours into Animal Crossing. Like it
yeah,
was
yep,
nonstop. I would wake up while I was making breakfast. I would do Animal Crossing, and then I would sit down watch like I think I was watching Letterkenny,
yes,
and
yep,
while I was watching that, I was playing Animal Crossing,
yep,
and then or Pokemon, and then when that was done at like night, I would play something on PlayStation. It was just nonstop all day for
yeah.
the 6 weeks I was home.
And I fucking loved it. I know a lot of people
Yeah,
were like it was an escape from like COVID and stuff, but like I wish I could just do that all the fucking time and I don't have to go
yeah.
outside and interact with anybody. Um, yeah, man, Animal Crossing was just like one of those games that just hit at the perfect time. Whereas if Animal Crossing dropped right now, there's no fucking chance I'm putting 100 hours into it like I have.
I know people that bought Switches specifically to
Yeah.
like play Animal
Yep.
Crossing, and then they sold the Switch and Animal Crossing
Yeah.
like once they went back to work.
Oof. Yeah, dude. It
I mean,
that took over the world for like a month.
Animal Crossing would still be a thing if they would just let the animals get drunk.
The rated M version.
Give me what I want. Let me get Tom Nook drunk and fight him.
He's the final boss.
I'll beat dog shit out of him.
Um, we're staying with Xbox apparently. Um, we do have a PlayStation a news story to come a little bit later on, but for right now, this is more Halo talk. Pulling from Austin Wood at Games Radar. As you guys know, last week we talked about the possibility of um, a battle royale mode in Halo Infinite, and so this is just more speculation. It says rumored Halo Infinite battle royale will reportedly build on the campaign. The long rumored Halo Infinite Battle Royale mode is said to be connected to the game's campaign. Known leaker Tom Henderson touched on the mode in a recent tweet, explaining that, quote, the Halo Infinite Battle Royale is also heavily connected to the campaign in a lot of ways. In a follow up tweet, he added that he's, quote, not sure if it's been scrapped or when or if it will release, but it's been in development for years. Um, I don't even know what that would look like.
So I haven't played a Halo campaign. I played a little bit with you, which is like what, an hour and a half, 2 hours of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then this past weekend I tried playing I think Halo Reach. Uh I played like an hour of the campaign and got bored and turned it off. I the only so like I say that to say that I don't know much about it, but like I feel like they'll try to do sort of how Warzone takes characters from like the modern warfare games and is like implementing them in that story, like trying
Okay.
to mash the stories together, something like that. I mean, that's all that I could really think of like to make it work.
Yeah, like if it's just like a video in the start of every like season of a battle royale, like
Yeah.
okay, that's kind of corny. And like I said, this is speculation anyways because they've a couple years ago somebody in 343 in an interview said the only BR we're interested in Halo is the battle rifle. So they like seemingly didn't even want battle royale in this game, but it almost felt like if it does happen, then it's like they needed to do it because
Yeah.
it's what everyone's doing. So yeah, this would be really because not that I think every battle royale game is going to have some like major storyline to it, but I could see that being like every season of Halo that comes, you watch almost like how Destiny has their expansions.
Yeah.
Seeing something like that where there's like new characters or new like guns or stuff like that. Because this is the next Halo game it's going to be this for the next 7 to 10 years. Like this is a like it's not live service, but it is going to be like a long-term deal.
I didn't know that.
So
I thought it'd be like 3 to 5, and then there'd be a new one.
no, that like if I'm wrong, someone who knows a little bit more about this, either like comment in the comment section or tweet at us if you're listening through a podcast service. Um, I believe that the plan was for like a 10-year live service style thing where they're going to keep adding to like the story and stuff like that. Um, I could see a world if this comes out and it's complete dog shit, then they would scrap that idea and
Yeah.
maybe move on from 343, like making these games. I'm not sure, but that's not going to happen. This Halo Infinite's going to be awesome, dude. And so we won't even have to
Uh,
worry about that.
I mean, it better be.
it
Got a lot of people excited for this. If it goes wrong, that's not
it's
good.
it's not gonna go wrong.
It's the only game Xbox has.
Okay, don't. I
There's
mean,
a lot riding on this.
all right. I mean,
Don't fuck it up.
I think that's just a little unnecessary, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, what else? What other games do they have that are exclusive that are coming out in the near future?
Bruh, every
Am I missing
Bethesda,
something?
every
Yeah,
Bethesda game, bro.
but that's not like when I say near, like that Sony has God of War, uh, they have Horizon, they have which one am I missing? There's another one, isn't there?
Last of Us,
But like they have titles.
Uncharted. Are you talking
But
like in like
yeah,
coming soon?
things coming out.
Um,
There
yeah,
was a there was some sort of game in development from Naughty Dog that someone believed to be another Uncharted game that was kept under wraps. They like there was an article that came out months ago and then just got forgotten about.
I believe that was actually a new studio working on the IPs because Naughty Dog I think is done with it. So
Something like that,
it'd
yeah.
be a different studio.
Basically taking it over.
Yeah. I think. Um,
Plus there's like they're still cranking out Crash Bandicoot games and shit like
well,
th-
that's not Naughty Dog. They have nothing to do with Crash anymore.
not anymore. But like
Um,
they Sony had Returnal, they had Ratchet and Clank. Like they've had these things come out for next gen and Xbox has not.
yeah.
That's basically
So
the point I was trying to have. It's like Halo is the first and only real game since the next gen came out that
it's the
like
first, yeah, for sure.
so there's a lot of pressure no matter how you want to look at it. Like if they
Yeah.
fuck it up, it's not going to go over well.
The thing is, okay, so I do think it's gonna be. Here's my prediction for Halo Infinite. It comes out with the campaign in.
Yep.
Let me look at a calendar real quick. Halo Infinite comes out November 26th and has a 92 on Metacritic. That's how confident I am that this game's gonna hit. Um, but that just kicks it off. Once Halo hits, Xbox is off to the races. They have, well, literally the racing Forza Horizon 5, which like I personally don't really care for racing games, but you have that. You have game that what's Arcane, the studio that makes Dishonored and Deathloop. They're coming out with a Left 4 Dead style game that's coming in the summer. Then you have the potentially, I mean, God of War, probably now that if we're comparing exclusives, God of War probably is the biggest if Breath of the Wild doesn't hit. Um, it's up there with Starfield coming next fall. Um, we have there's games coming, and then there we don't have release dates on Fable and other Bethesda potential games like that. So
But you just said it yourself. One of those games is coming next summer. One of them's coming next fall.
yeah,
They're still ways out. So like, why do I keep freezing in the worst? Uh, they still have like Halo is the game, and Halo needs to hit.
it does, and like I said, I think it will. But if they do stumble with Halo, if it
And
does come out
it's
and it's not received well, I
gonna
think
be
they're
a
going to be
good.
fine.
There's a good 6 to 7 months where it might be rough, and then it'll pick back up. I think.
Yeah, I there are more games that I am missing right now, and for whatever the spaces that they don't have games coming, they are filling in the gaps with Game Pass and other AAA games. So
Yeah.
still, it's just exciting to be a part of the Xbox ecosystem, and have
Oh
a.
yeah.
I mean, I'm saying this now, and we're all hyped for Xbox. But if Sony announced a state of play next week, gave us Horizon and God of War release dates, now I'm all the way back in on
Oh
Sony, and
yeah.
um, but yeah,
That's why
uh,
I'm not letting myself get too excited about what Xbox is doing just yet. Because I don't want to look like a fool if I just the way my brain works is I have to if it's not completely neutral, then I'm shitting on one of them. I can't be positive on both.
well, you shit on Nintendo, so shouldn't that be
Well, Nintendo's a piece of shit company.
all right? Uh, Next up on the news, uh, we got a voice actor for Knuckles in the Sonic
Oh, we
sequel.
sure do.
We got Idris Elba voicing Knuckles. This is from Joshua Rivera on Polygon. The Sonic sequel just found its Knuckles. Also, Idris Elba tweeted this. He tweeted a picture of the Knuckles fist, and he said "knock knock." Hashtag Sonic movie 2. Hashtag Knuckles. Uh, Knuckles, the as John would say, enchilada, is going to be in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and he's going to be voiced by Idris Elba of the Suicide Squad and Luther. Expected in theaters. I mean, if I'm uh gonna recall things that he's been a part of, it's the Hot Ones video. That's just iconic. The
He
the
was
the
in bro, he is such a good actor.
yeah
He was in all the Thor movies. He was in that one movie, I don't know what it's called, but it's him, Chris Evans, Zoe Saldana. They're all like criminals that are trying to work for the government, basically Suicide Squad, but not.
yeah.
And then in Suicide Squad, he's just always been good.
He says expected in theaters next spring. The sequel will also bring Miles Tails, and presumably feature the return of Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. I love this. I absolutely love this. It is. I think it would be hard to find a better voice for Knuckles, in my opinion. Um, but what if Knuckles actually had like the like English accent?
That's what I mean, that's what I think is gonna happen.
Oh no, I'd be pissed. Then I'd be
Really?
pissed. Yeah,
Why?
because Knuckles is like big and tough, and English people.
All right. I just all the British slander, all the slander that John sends to the UK. I want
Dude,
you to know I don't share that sentiment.
British rap sucks. Ugh, it's
Listen,
awful.
please stop. Please stop. I don't need this right now.
Um,
I it's not my favorite, but I fuck with it here and there.
I don't, and but I do
I'll
fuck
take
with. I
that over
do.
like Kid Leroy or whatever.
Oh, fuck that guy. Oh,
Yeah,
ugh.
no disrespect, but like
I mean,
Post
yeah,
Malone exists and we don't need you.
do you, bro? But you know, um,
Anyways, Idris Elba.
yes, I love
Knuckles
this.
the Knuckles the Enchilada is my favorite character, and I told You, after we saw the first Sonic movie, which was the last thing we did before COVID shut down the world. What a way to go out. I said, Knuckles better be in the next one or I'm not going to see it. And then what they do? They said, John, we heard you.
They catered to you specifically.
Listen, we got Idris Elba on the line. Knuckles is here. And I said, okay, I'll give you some money, but
You Shark
not a
Tank
lot
that.
of it.
You said, for
Said,
that reason,
I'm in. $5 on that whatever at movie tavern. I ain't paying full price.
This is cool. As people who know me know, I fucking love Sonic. Even the bad games I love, because who are you to fucking say what's a bad game? Okay, fuck off.
Sonic Heroes is the only good one.
Anyways, this is cool. Knuckles,
validate my opinions.
Tails in this game.
Yeah.
We need Shadow in part 3. That's where I'm at. Where you are with Knuckles in part 2, I need Shadow the Hedgehog in these or in these movies. I need it. I absolutely need it.
The difference is you'll see it either way. I would not have seen this if Knuckles wasn't in it.
Bruh. Like that's not true.
No, it's very true. I would
Come
not have seen
on,
it.
bruh.
The first one was good, not good enough to see twice. I tried watching it at home and I couldn't do it. I got through 15 minutes and was like, shit, this is not as good as I remember it being. But Knuckles is here now.
Just can't even fucking believe you right now.
Tails is unfortunately there as well.
Yeah, I've never loved Tails. But yeah, Sonic does, and so I tolerate him. Anyone Sonic loves, you're a friend of mine. Like Sonic and I, we just he's in my PC right now helping that shit run. So, anyways, last up on the news. Abandon just keeps getting weirder and fucking weirder, and God,
what is there to even say? Just put out something. Just stop doing whatever you're doing right now and do something else.
This is from Ollie Jones and Austin Wood at Games Radar. Abandoned PS5 app delayed by technical issue. Devs working to get this live ASAP. I don't even know why I even pulled an article because I've been following this so closely, but this at least has the dates and stuff. So, August 10th, which was when it was supposed to be revealed at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not gonna lie, I left work early to check it out because
really.
I mean, I leave work early.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was happening. So
So the app, I downloaded the app, pull it up, says come back later. And they say nothing for about 15 minutes. Then they say there's a technical issue. Yeah, you could have downloaded the app for a couple weeks, but you had to wait for the patch. There's a patch that's coming that would update everything, and that then you would be a part of the real-time experience, whatever the fuck that means. So then August 11th, today, Blue Box confirmed that the technical issue stalling the release of the reveal app for Abandon is taking longer than expected, and the studio still fully working on this. At the time of writing, it's been 24 hours since the problem was identified. It's unclear when it will be resolved and when the app will be released. Dude, the funny thing is they have so many people believing that it's gonna be worth it. The payoff is gonna be it's gonna be Silent Hill, or it's gonna be I mean, I don't understand why people think it has anything to do with Metal Gear Solid other than the fact that the teaser looks like it has somebody with eye patch on. But yeah, so 6 hours ago, they tweeted, we won't be delaying the patch to a specific date, but release it as soon as we have resolved it. On behalf of the BBGS, Blue Box Game Studios team, everyone involved with Abandon, we thank you for your patience and apologize deeply for the inconvenience.
This I feel so bad for those developers if this isn't Silent Hill or this isn't Metal Gear Solid. If this isn't if this isn't what people think it is, that studio is going to get so much shit. They're going to get ripped to shreds, and I feel so bad for them. If that's the case, if not, then if it is what everybody thinks it is, then great, awesome.
They definitely deserve to be criticized.
Oh yeah, to an extent. I mean, like they're gonna get
like death
bullied.
threats,
Yeah,
stuff like that, where it's like is not tolerable. Like you're a true
yeah,
fucking weirdo if you get that upset over video games, um, over something that was never. It wasn't even like
promised.
yeah. And as a matter of fact, they're saying that we're not this. While I mean teasing that they are Silent Hill or and yeah, dude, like I think this is the first time I have 100% ruled out the fact that it like it has anything to do with um Hideo Kojima or like any I honestly even Silent Hill maybe I think I'm ruling that out now because if this was like Silent Hill something a big IP like that Sony would be looking to I mean this would be a huge thing for Sony's in the fall. um I don't think it'd be handled like this, even if they wanted to sway people or um, try to like trick them. This has gone too far.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's why I think this is just a poor studio that's gonna get the worst of the gaming community that they don't deserve.
the worst part
Yeah,
is the last anything from Silent Hill that was ever released, and it was just a playable teaser that Hideo Kojima made, and it's like legendary. It's just called Silent Hill PT. Was released on August 12th, 2014. So we have, I mean, you go through these comments, and I feel like I get brain dead fucking reading these. Um,
well, they're just gonna
uh,
release something on the 12th. They're gonna drop it as a surprise. It's like, jeez, no, they're not, bud.
it,
They're gonna do it on the 13th. They don't want. You're gonna be expecting the 12th. No, they're not, bud.
oh,
If they don't, I mean, oh boy.
now the thing that I'm questioning now is if this comes out tomorrow and it's Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But Kojima has nothing to do with it. It's just this like studio was given the Silent Hill. Does this erase everything that they've done? Like, does this make up for the fact that they were bamboozling people and leading them astray? Um,
I
I
mean,
I don't even think I know for sure like how this would play out.
as someone that doesn't care about Silent Hill, it's whatever. Maybe I'd give it another try if it wasn't like the same person doing it, just to see what's different. But
Um,
I mean, I don't know.
so this Twitter account called Direct Feed Games. This is another like pretty reliable insider from what I've gathered. Like I've followed um I followed him for a while, and anytime he kind of he never like full on like leaks things, but just kind of gives hints and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, he responded to this and to the most recent Blue Box tweet and said to resolve this issue, you need to submit a patch certification. It's clear no patch was submitted, and the failed launch he put in like quotes like this was no launch. He said the failed launch was a marketing tactic which worked for your advantage. However, the tides turned. This tweet reads as a goodbye, meaning no update is forthcoming. Um, I'd be willing to say he knows more about that than most people, like what that would look like. Um, if they really never intended to launch this yesterday, that's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, I left work early. I mean, I usually leave at like 3:30, so I just left a little early just to be like, oh, this would be cool to like to be a part of. Like, there's people like streaming this, um, like investing time and stuff into this. And I saw somebody on Twitter has been live since 3 p.m. Eastern yesterday and is still live right now, waiting for this to drop. Like he never went off. He's literally been live that entire time. Um, those are the kind of people that it's like
That's oh boy.
where now for him, if this is just some bullshit indie game, which I'm leaning towards now,
Oh, it's gonna be so bad. Oh, it's gonna be so rough.
it is fucking crazy because when my brother sent this to us, he this was the first time I even heard about the game was when he sent this in a group chat to us, and we I was like, dude, this looks sick. Even if at the time I just thought it was an indie studio working on a cool little horror game. I was in then. Like I was like, dude, this looks like it looks creepy. The vibe is just really creepy, and
Yeah.
I love horror. I love horror games. I love horror movies. Like I was stoked for this, and then for them to do this, oh, I don't want to say they'd like deserve what's coming to them because truly, like you like what is coming to them if this is not what everyone wants
It's bad.
is going to be a nightmare. But they definitely deserve to like not um be taken seriously anymore. Like
Well, I
it
mean, this isn't as bad as like, in my opinion, CD Projekt Red blatantly lying
yeah.
to
Yeah,
everybody's
I
face.
agree. I
But like, it's
100% agree.
it the way they've gone about certain things. Oh boy, I don't. I keep repeating myself, but I just the gaming community is such a
Yeah.
fickle bunch already.
They just spend so much time behind a screen that they
You're gonna
forget that there's human people like
you're gonna
making these
poke
games.
the most ugly and aggressive bear.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. Yeah, we'll keep you updated. I definitely thought we were gonna have news about this this week. I was pretty excited, but yeah, this whole thing, it's so funny because in my head this is huge video game news, but in reality, it really could just be a small indie studio
Yeah,
not releasing a game, and that doesn't really mean that much in the grand scheme of things. Like this is just the weirdest story I've uh like obviously covered. We've only been like actually reporting on shit for a little bit now, but this is like the weirdest story I feel like I've witnessed um
it's
in my time of like video being involved like
it
heavily in
just
video game stuff.
it just keeps taking weirder turns. You know?
Yeah. And I just pray the payoff is worth it, but I'm not
Yeah.
anticipating it. That's it for the news this week, folks. But that's not it for the show because John and I, and hopefully somebody out there, is still giving Shadow of the Colossus a shot for the first time. John, we
Yeah.
have gotten through So just a quick correction from last week.
Yeah,
We thought that it was six Kilbasis to take down, and that was the story. But it's 16.
turns out there are 16 calzones, and we gotta kill them all.
There is a one in front of the six that we just blatantly missed it. Anyways, we got up to the ninth. I almost just called it a Titan.
Basically, that's how I
um,
feel like when I'm climbing the back of it and I'm
yeah,
stabbing the neck.
right.
Oh, that's a good one, huh? It's one of these.
Yeah, all
There
right.
we go.
Yeah.
How I stab is just.
that that feeling though when you like that motherfucker like that just feels really good. What are your thoughts? Anything developed for you?
Not really. I mean, there were a couple cool ones. We were talking about, I think, the seventh and the ninth one, which is like the turtle one where you gotta flip it on its back, the bird one, even the fish one. There's like the
Yeah.
electricity. Those are kind of sick. The rest of them are just kind of still rinse and repeat.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel that way.
I just when there's no story development, that's what's getting me.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see like what that payoff is going to be because I have no
Yeah,
idea. Like I have no idea if there is going to be a pay like the abandoned stuff. Is it going to pay
basically.
off? If not, I will send death threats to Blue Point.
Oh boy.
Um, obviously, I'm fucking kidding, but the more I play, the more I enjoy it. I even got to a point where I was thinking about it a little bit while I wasn't playing it, and to me, that's a sign of a game that I really enjoy. Um, so yeah, the more, like I said, the more I play, the more I'm like, I'm kind of getting it. I'm understanding what the game is. I think I was just confused as to like what it was because
Yeah.
it's open world. Um, and technically these are all boss fights, but there's like
Thing
when
in
you
between.
when you think open world, you have all these points on a map. You have side quest, side quest, side quest, collectibles all over the place. Then you have your main mission. This is just main mission,
Yeah.
and that's it. And I understand this was made in 2005, the base game. Um, but yeah, at first I was like, this is weird. I don't understand it. But the more I play of it, I'm just like, okay, this is what it is. Taking this for what it is, and and I understand now that each of these, it's almost like a dungeon crawler,
Yeah.
where you're like sorting through these like puzzles and stuff, and like the I keep wanting to say Titan, the Colossus are each individual puzzle. So yeah, I'm probably gonna finish it this week. I honestly think most of them have been really enjoyable and creative, at least a little bit. The fish like underwater. I hate swimming in video games, but I still thought the how big everything feels, how like epic everything feels, just so like when you're in these fights. Um, I yeah, I feel a lot better about it now than I did last week for sure.
It's more entertaining now, but I still like I like a good story in a game, and this one's just every like what uh four things. I ran out of C words. For calamari, there's like another
Okay,
thing where he like he just looks at the dead girl and then he goes
yeah,
about his business.
the
Like,
one where the horse kind of hovers over her.
yeah, which what the fuck is the horse gonna do? Like, well, I didn't understand that one bit. Is the horse gonna eat the girl? If not, then keep it moving.
Are we gonna find out like what relation she has that I honestly am so excited to see how it ends because I have no fucking clue what the payoff's gonna be. So
I'm not excited. I'm curious.
that's fair. I would say I'm excited. Um, and that's and like obviously not every game is made for everybody.
Yeah,
Um, and this maybe just isn't a game made for you.
No, I
But
mean
we
this is an old game with a fresh coat of paint.
sure, yeah, that's yeah.
I
Um,
think that's why it's not really connecting with me.
mm, um, it goes back into our remakes versus remasters, or
Yep.
remakes and remasters versus reboots. A couple
Uh,
weeks ago on the podcast
yeah, that was almost a month ago now.
for the OGs out there. Um, yeah, I'm excited to see where it ends up landing. Um, Something I was also excited for was for your first weekend ever spent in a Halo multiplayer. So for those of you who don't know, and John has said a couple times, he's never played Halo multiplayer before, and his
I think I
first
got called a
time.
fool last week. If I'm remembering correctly? It's last week or 2 weeks ago. I was called a fool on this very show for
But now
never
you're
playing
not a
it.
fool because you played it. If you have not played Halo multiplayer yet, I, I don't make the rules.
Now
You're
you're
just a
the
fool.
fools,
You're a
idiots.
fool. John, let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your experience.
Well, let me do this real quick. Uh, Even though it was a really good segue, and I apologize. Are we
That's all
talking
good.
about games we're playing right now? Or are we just jumping into Halo?
I skipped over that because I guess I haven't really played any other games. But if you have a game to talk about, go ahead.
No, I thought you were going to talk about Zelda again.
I
You
haven't
said you were
played
going.
it really.
You said you were going to finish it. That's
I
why.
didn't. I didn't.
In that case, we did play Halo on Friday, and then I played. Well, we played on Saturday too, and then I played a little bit on Sunday. Uh, it's good. It's fun. I don't understand the control still. I'm still trying to get used to that. Uh, but I like Griffball. I think that's the most fun game mode in the entire thing. I hate the thing where you have to use snipers and only get headshots. That stinks.
That's
Not a fan of
awesome.
that.
Love it.
No, not a fan of that one bit.
Oh, okay. All right.
The standard just kill them all. That's good. I I was expecting a lot more based on all the hype that I have heard, but I still had fun. I still had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah. So, um, my history with Halo was when these games came out. Um, was just 7 years old, and I think I think so. No, yeah, around then. So I played it when I was really little, um, and I played them all the way up to Halo 4. If Reach came after 4, I think it did. I can't. I think it did. I played it all the way up through Xbox 360 because I had Xboxes, um, and I obviously had PS2 because if you didn't, then you were really a fool. But um, I played these games like religiously. They were my first like multiplayer games, my first exposure to first person shooters, um, and the controls are back then at least because this was the first way I even learned how to play a shooter. Um, they were simple, um, and every single engagement that you have with somebody, like you have a chance. And I don't feel like that's the case in a lot of other games where the time
Yeah,
to kill is super quick. Um, if you're better at hitting heads, then the person, if they get the first shot on you, if you can turn that around, um, and hit some heads and they're hitting your body or your feet, I feel like there's and that adrenaline rush and that you get every single time you engage with somebody. I think it's just as good as first person shooting gets. And um I obviously haven't played since the Xbox 360 era. So this was like a return to my childhood, getting
yeah,
together and playing with our friend Steven, my brother in law. Him and I played Halo back on Xbox 360. Um, and it just felt like what it used to feel like for me. Like when you had a group of people and it was like I know we from the big team battle to me didn't feel like it used to, I guess. But that when it's 4v4, it's me and my three friends and we're playing against some other goons and you know, some people had to get in the swing of things. Some people never played the game before, so we didn't
What he's
win.
saying is I was bad and
We
that
didn't
I
win
held the
too
team
many
back.
games. But it was just it felt so fresh to me. And even though
Yeah,
like in the earlier like Halo like Combat Evolved through 3, um you can't sprint. Anybody who's making the argument for no sprint in Halo, um I would just ask you to kindly shut your fucking mouth. I
you
don't
need to sprint.
understand. You need it. You absolutely need to sprint. And I cannot fucking wait for it, and I can't wait for sliding either in Halo Infinite.
Yeah,
Um, because going back and playing the older, I mean, like I still enjoyed them, but they were nowhere near as enjoyable as going back to 4 and Reach and stuff where that was an option. Um, just hearing the commentator's voice, the double kill, like though, like I just love how that game set the tone for first person shooters, and there truly wouldn't I this is like undoubtedly there would not be first person shooting wouldn't be what it is today without Halo ever coming out.
no, yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so legendary, and even if the first three games haven't technically aged, well, I still enjoyed going back to them, and that's it. If anything, it made me so much more excited for Halo Infinite, um, a modern, fresh
yeah.
Halo, which hopefully is great.
That it got me fully on board for a new Halo.
Yeah. And another thing with Halo, like you said, you enjoyed Griffball. Like
Love Griffball.
that's the perfect like when you're playing Call of Duty. It's just that. Like there's hardly
Yeah,
any that you can do different game modes, but it's just shooting all the time. And they Halo did such a good job with like communities, like people in the Halo community, like making these things, and then they just took them on as like official modes and stuff, and uh, even infected and stuff like that. They're like, okay, we're getting our ass kicked in in like Slayer and capture the flag and um King of the Hill and stuff. But Griffball is just like that, almost mindless. Like you have to be like
yeah,
timely, but it's that like perfect like in between where you're just like, all right, this is just pure fun. Like it's
yeah.
stupid and fun.
It's the most. It was the most enjoyable game mode for me, just because it was nothing but fun. There was no stress. It was just hit somebody with a hammer, throw a ball in hole,
Hit man with hammer.
ball in
Um,
hole. That is my
sport.
type of game.
That's sport. Um, yeah, I'm excited to keep playing and obviously you weren't going to be great jumping
No,
into a game for the first time, especially games that like you hate old games and
and it was switching between. It wasn't even like when we were playing Friday. It was Halo and then Halo 3 and then Halo 4 and then Halo 2 and then it would bounce around and I couldn't
you know,
adjust properly.
the one Halo Combat Evolved game that we played was fucking
It was
hilarious.
it was really funny.
It,
I didn't care I was bad because it was so fucking wild.
um, I I was gonna mention your the one game that you had, but I'll leave it up to you to
Which one?
tell the people. Think you should know what I'm talking about, John. When I'm saying you know you weren't going to be great playing this for the first time.
I had a couple where I was like 1 in 20 something.
You had one
I
in
did not do
particular.
great. I don't remember it. If you, because if you, I don't know if you noticed that I'm rocking. I'm about to piss my pants.
Okay.
If you
Um,
want to describe it to the people, I will pee and then come back.
well, I mean, we really don't have that much more. John had a game where he scored negative points.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did fall off the map once and then
Uh,
never got a kill,
and
so I
never
ended up -1. Yeah.
So the only way to go is up from here. And that goes for Halo, I think, in general. Um, I'm excited to keep playing with you guys and for you
I
to get
forgot
better.
about that. You son of a bitch.
I
You son of a bitch. I forgot about it.
That's what you get for dissing Sonic. So yeah, we just gave you a little update on how John's Halo journey is going, and because it's going to continue for the foreseeable future, and then in the fall, whenever Infinite hits.
Halo, if you're listening, I know you're listening. I'm gonna address you by name here. Take out the negative scores. Let me finish with a 0, you cowards.
I second that for my boy, actually. So yeah, anyways,
Disrespectful.
thank you guys for tuning into the show. If you guys enjoy the show, give us a like, subscribe, and then also in the link, I'll link below the audio version if that works out for you guys better. Because these obviously go over an hour. So if that is more your vibe, go ahead. Appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. Soon we'll be we'll be doing this live, and so we can kind of have conversations with people if you guys want.
I cannot wait for that.
I'm super stoked for that as well. Stop
I
having
also say while you're listening to the podcast through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever, give your boys 5 stars. Give us a review.
Yeah,
Because that really does help bamboozle the system. You know?
and we love bamboozling.
Amen.
So yeah, next week's episode 10, and just a preview for that. Our topic of the show is John and I are going to run down our favorite games of all time. We're going to give lists.
We're doing games or consoles?
Games.
Okay.
Just as for people kind of who don't know us or think they know us, just an introductory to us and letting everyone know like what our vibes are. So it'll be exciting. It'll be stupid, I'm sure. So tune in for that next week. Yeah. So until then, as always, stay horny, stay hydrated. Peace.